Well, some first episode.
Welcome to the first proper episode of the Back Post podcast. The scriptwriters were busy over the weekend, and they've cooked us up something special, haven't they, Seb?
They have.
Sorry, I've actually bought a prop for this. Just
Oh, wow.
because I do remember a video over the summer that you
Oh
made
my god.
where I think you were wearing a bucket hat, weren't you?
Oh my god. And I've noticed you actually brought that back in your videos yesterday.
Let it all work out.
I think
You
you
gonna
can
join in?
take that in the video.
You were playing Take That, weren't you?
I was, yeah.
And you have taken that.
I still can't believe that it's actually transpired in this way from the summer until now. It's insane.
I can.
I don't know. A hat. No, but a
No, I
hat
actually
trick.
can't. A hat trick,
is
genuinely.
insane. That
Genuinely.
guy barely scored 3 goals. Well, I mean, the whole season scored one. But
It's the most insane thing that I think is. I mean, there's been a lot of insane things that's happened to this football club, but it might be the most insane thing to happen today. I thought he was going to score. I was like, if he scores a goal, that's worst case scenario, and we get battered. Has he ever scored a hat trick before in his career?
I don't know if he,
has
he
he
might have
actually
done,
ever scored?
he might have done. I don't even know. But it's such a rare thing to even score a hat trick. I can't even remember the last time an Arsenal player scored a hat trick, let alone
well, they said I think it was 1978 was Arsenal Spurs. The last
North
hat-trick.
London derby.
Yeah.
4 in
Was
history.
it Jimmy Greaves or something?
4 in history. The chances of a player scoring a hat trick in a North London derby are pretty slim for it to be him. It's unbelievable. Genuinely, I think I referenced it in the first little podcast we did. Be funny if he scored. To score 3.
I think him scoring was nailed on, but yeah, and there was the manner of all the goals were the exact same.
I don't even know what to say. I literally don't even know what
If
to say.
someone had written episode 1 of this podcast, even they wouldn't have thought. They'd have got, well, that's a bit too far.
Yeah.
That's a bit too far. Scoring a goal, Arsenal winning.
That's too brutal.
Oh.
Yeah, I was literally. It's one of those where when you go through the emotions on a derby day like that, I just came out. I was just like, I'm just depressed. Like this is like the lowest I think I've ever been. Like the lowest of the pits in terms of footballing depression.
Well, I think you were picking beverage of choice was bleach. On the
yeah,
group chat,
please,
so-
yeah, it was.
The best way you described it was that was a humiliation ritual.
It was, and being a Tottenham fan, I mean, I've worn black today. Spurs' funeral, I guess. You know, the wake, whatever. And it's honestly like it feels like that. I said yesterday, I was not even remotely on Thomas Frank before yesterday. That kind of result, that humiliation,
And the comment.
and the comments after the game.
It's a bit like, has he got a bit of a kink for that humiliation?
Yeah, I
What was
mean-
going on there? He was inviting it on. You are asking Eze to dance on me. Like,
Yeah.
Yeah,
you
it's insane.
you're
It's-
asking for it.
There was no positive outcome of that comment either.
no,
Like the comment came out and people were like, okay, but you still did want him anyway, and
All you
then
can do is
you've
motivate
just
him.
set yourself up to protect. I think I posted a couple of days ago. Can't wait for that to cut to Eze scoring the winner, and the edits are unbelievable. And it's not even a winner. It's
a winner, then a winner, then a
And
winner.
it's Eze literally laughing at you again, which he did at
Made it
Palace.
4 as well.
that
Yeah.
celebration was
He was angry. He didn't make it 4.
Yeah.
Do you know how mad that is?
I was. That's the closest I've ever you know when people say, "Oh, I'm going to throw something at my TV." That's the closest I've ever actually come in to throw something at my TV when he was doing that little smirk behind his hand.
You know, I was sat above all of the Spurs fans as well. And when he scored the R4 of his hat trick, I genuinely, even when we beat your lot 5-0 a couple of years, I've never seen the away end actually
Empty like
queuing
that.
to, like, they were stationary on the stairs,
I don't blame
queuing to get out.
I don't
I
blame
don't
them at
blame
all.
I don't blame them.
It's one of those days, right, where
That's
it's
history.
unbelievable the sequence of events that led up to that as well. Like the summer, Eze obviously snubbing Spurs, going to Arsenal, the videos. We all know the videos. We've all seen the videos on TikTok. Myself, Ben Bowman, others made. Every Spurs fan made, like insane. And then obviously getting Javi Simmons, the let it all work out stuff. Obviously,
Oh, yeah, they tweeted that. So
They
yeah.
tweeted let it all work
literally
out.
every time you
He
think
didn't
about
even
it, you
start the
remember
game.
something else, and it gets worse. And then obviously all of this stuff to do with, I mean, the post-match the pre-match press conference from Thomas Frank is just like it's an absolute train wreck now. And then a hat trick is actually the most insane thing I've been like. I can't even do it, and it's like
At some
Thomas
point,
Frank
we do
after
need to
the game
rank
as well.
Tottenham things.
This has to be.
Yeah,
That's up there.
This has to be one, like,
It's insane.
Tottenham do some Spursy things, but even for you, this is like...
I thought
It's
it might
like-
change
it's like
after
if someone
Bilbao.
wrote a parody
Yeah.
of how bad it's been, and it's this.
Yeah,
And
yeah.
this is the thing.
They're a
Bilbao-
caricature of themselves.
The whole reason that Bilbao was such an amazing moment was it was like
We're-
we've done
we're not-
something that isn't
We're
like
not
us.
Spursy anymore.
Well, yeah, and that's the problem. It's like I thought this would be the new dawn, like a start of a new era for Tottenham.
Yeah.
And in the summer already, we've already kind of like messed that up with the whole Eze thing, and then it's just going into this season. It's like even the Chelsea game, it's like pathetic at home.
To have that derby so recent in the mind, and then to turn up in the manner that they did, and
this is my whole problem.
To wait to lose. That's how it felt to me.
This is my whole problem. It is literally what I say about a humiliation ritual with Spurs in these London derbies. It's the day that you mark in your calendar when you see the fixture list come out. It's a day bragging rights, all of it embarrassment, nerves leading up to the game. All I said about yesterday, Arsenal a better team, right? We might go, we might lose. Put up a fight.
Yeah.
Just actually, we can come away and go, so frustrating if we lost. But you kick them a bit, you have chances, you give us a bit of hope, because realistically, that's all you want in that kind of game, a bit of hope away from home. And then maybe we nick something, maybe we do something. Now we've had Chelsea and Arsenal at home so far. We've had 0.5 XG against Arsenal yesterday and 0.1.
No, sorry, 0.05. Don't forget the extra.
Half a goal was generous.
My apologies. 0.05 and then 0.1 against you lot. We have had, 2 shots on target total in those 2 games. Thomas Frank's tactics are... Honestly, it was embarrassing the way he set us up yesterday. When I saw 5 back, I was like, okay, 5 back, fair enough. Like, you want to contain, and then the wing backs might be allowed to push off the pitch a little bit. We didn't have a fucking hope in hell of creating anything. It was a flat back 5.
Yeah,
it was like a back 5. It wasn't wing back.
No,
it
like
was
I said,
full back.
It was waiting to lose. It was just, can Arsenal break us down? And quite early there was that. I think after a minute, someone flicked Eze
into Rice. Rice scored.
Yeah, exactly. And it's like, right, they're already breaking them down.
Yeah, no, literally. And then there was a 20-minute period where I thought it was okay. I thought, okay, we're really trying to contain them, and we did contain them pretty well. And there were a couple where Richarlison managed to move the ball onto Odegaard or Kudus, and it was like, are we building to something here? And as soon as the first goal goes in, and it shows the mentality within that squad is utterly pathetic. It is pathetic. And Vicario coming out after the game doing an interview saying, sorry to the fans, we didn't fight. You didn't fight in a London derby. It's insanity. And it's like to actually go into that game, to come out of that and say that, I was like, that's just one of the most embarrassing things ever. Because it's like, it's a complete disrespect to the fans. And that is all we ask in those games. Like, you show a bit of fight, you compete, you win duels, whatever, and then it's the manager's job to then give us a chance going the other way. So completely embarrassing from the players to not show that fight, and completely embarrassing for Thomas Frank to not give the players a chance in terms of how we've set up to then try and hurt you, because you're not invincible. Yes, you're the best team in the league right now, but you're not this invincible team that can't be.
Gave a blueprint of like, get at them.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. Sunderland showed so much more than us. Sunderland don't care about Arsenal. No, you know what I mean? It's mental.
I completely agree. That was honestly for a Spurs performance. Like, I've seen worse Spurs teams on paper come to the Emirates, and even if you've not won, there's been a bit of fight. It was just, other than kicking a couple of our players, in terms of what you were actually trying to do with the ball, there was nothing. There was genuinely nothing. I was, you could have held on to a 0-0 draw maybe, but I've seen Ange Postecoglou's Forest turn up at the Emirates this season trying to do that, but at least giving something. I've seen West Ham at their absolute lowest this season. At least Fulkrug gets a big chance. I would be, if I was a Spurs fan, not trying to rage bait you, I would be absolutely disgusted with the way that my team turned up yesterday. It was genuinely, that was as embarrassing a performance as I've ever seen. And as good as Arsenal were, you made it so easy for us, because we just go, we can play however we want, and if they get the ball back, they're not going to do anything. So when you look at...
It was a training game of how to break down a low block.
Exactly.
It was literally that. Exactly. And then as soon as Spurs got it, it was... They were waiting to lose, but the second they got the ball in the other half, it was waiting to lose the ball. It was just, right, Richarlison, you hold up for a little bit, and Arsenal get it back, and then they'll come again.
And let's be honest, we had Hincapié starting his first ever Premier League game. You've got on left centre back, you've got Calafiori at left back, who's not like, he gets forward, so he's not like the most defensively solid. Yeah. You've got Kudus on that side, and yet at no point did you even try and use it. I thought it was unbelievable. And then you invite it. So when Marino plays that ball through to Trossard, there may be games where we're worried about the counter-attack, where Marino recycles that again. But it's like, no, we'll just try it. And if it doesn't work, we'll win the ball back and it'll be easy. Yeah. So, I just thought you were an absolute disgrace.
And that was what I said pre-game. I was like, we need to try and be brave, because if we do that, then Arsenal will just break us down, because you do have the quality to break us down, and you did. And, I could tell you really enjoyed that. But it was... I was thinking the exact same things yesterday. When I was watching the game... It's like the level of anger you feel from that kind of performance is like, that has made me essentially just almost do a complete flip on Thomas Frank in terms of how I feel. Like, I think it's an unforgivable performance in terms of the next few weeks now are going to be so crucial to his future. I think if he loses to Fulham, he could be gone.
Well, I think it's a non-negotiable amongst any Tottenham fans, realistically, that you turn up in the derby and then you give it a crack.
He comes out after the game and he says, I want to apologise to fans, and you're thinking,
I've heard, and also I've heard this 3 weeks ago against us.
Also,
you said the 17th thing.
It's like, okay, you have the Chelsea game, sure, you perform like that.
It shows it's not an anomaly.
And then fix that against Arsenal, at least to a certain degree. And it's like, I mean, the Chelsea one was bad because it was even at home, and you expected a little bit more of that naturally, but didn't happen. But then he came out yesterday and he said, apologies to the fans, and I was thinking, right, good, okay, thank you for that. Doesn't mean anything, but thank you. Then he went something else. He was like, performance was disappointing, wasn't good enough. I was like, understatement of the fucking century, but thank you for that as well. And then he goes and says,
this bit.
You can't forget, though, we finished 17th last season. I was like, you have just you've just lost all the credit you had in the bank by saying that. Because, I mean, finishing 17th last season, right, was a complete anomaly for Tottenham Hotspur. We finished 5th the season before. We've been in between kind of 4th and 7th, 3rd and 7th.
Europa Champions League competition.
For the last decade and a half, even 20 years, right, as Spurs fans. That was a complete anomaly. To use that as an excuse for a performance in a North London derby like that is one of the most embarrassing things that I've seen a manager say. And it's like, I feel for Frank in terms of it's his first big job at a club where the media pressure is huge. He obviously, you can say the wrong thing in the heat of the moment after the game, straight away into the press conferences. I do understand that, but it's clearly he's just thought, right, what kind of excuse?
Was panicking.
But also that undermines everything Spurs fans have said in terms of when people go, "Oh, you were 17th." Spurs fans have been like, "Yeah, but we weren't a 17th side, right?"
The league.
But him saying that is effectively saying, "Well, you were a 17th side," and so actually for you to turn up like that is somehow understandable, which it's not anyway. I mean, that was. I don't know if you saw those stats, 391st out of 392 games since the start of 2015-16.
Well, it's kind of insinuating that his actual job role is, I'm supposed to keep us up with more safety.
It's madness.
Yeah,
it's absolute mad. And I think that comment, the performance, the worst North London derby performance in my lifetime I've ever seen from Tottenham.
It's for a lot of Spurs fans that will be irreparable. Like because that will always be like,
and
no matter what you do,
if you say Frank out now,
that's history.
I don't blame you. I really don't blame you. And I think that, like I said, the next couple of weeks we pivotal. I don't think he gets sacked now. We've got the PSG game on Tuesday. That could be bad. PSG game could be bad as well because they slice through low blocks like it's nobody's business. And it's like, I mean, you just think back though, like the PSG performance in the Super Cup, the energy that we had in those games, the intensity, how well structured we were, the City game at the start of the season. Where has that gone? Where has that gone?
I just think City Spurs is a weird game.
It is a weird game.
That was then 4-0 last year and then lost to like everybody.
Exactly. I almost could never take a City Spurs game seriously.
No, it's an anomaly. That's the thing. That game looks like an anomaly, and even the PSG game's a glorified friendly. And the thing is,
you've never
and
played
they did Spurs it,
but it is a glorified friendly.
They were 2-0 up.
Yeah.
You lost the game.
Yeah,
so
we did lose the game.
But also, because you had that, and then so you kind of thought, we're maybe on a level with PSG, which obviously never were. If this Champions League game they slice through you, it's going to be like, okay, so we've regressed since the start of the season. Like we have regressed. So yeah, I think he's in big trouble at this point.
When you play dull football and you don't get the results, you're dicing the danger there anyway, aren't you?
Huge issues. And it's something that, I mean, you can laugh at all you want, but it is something that is kind of within the Tottenham Hotspur DNA. Is like, okay, play nice, at least play nice football.
Well, that's why Mourinho and Conte didn't work out. Like, there is a want to play nice football, but Mourinho and Conte had a CV that dwarfs Thomas Frank's. So at this point,
unfortunately, you're taking a gamble on a manager like Thomas Frank when you take him from Brentford. And I thought that he could scale up. I thought that could be a great appointment for Spurs. I went quite big on Thomas Frank, and I'd like to hold my hands up and say I might be wrong.
It's
obviously
Chelsea again,
could turn it round, but some managers just don't scale up like that. Some managers are built to manage a club like Brentford or clubs lower down in the league. Not to sound arrogant, like an arrogant Big Six fan, but that just is the reality of it. And I think that Thomas Frank right now is probably heading in that direction for how we view him. And it's just insanely frustrating. I mean, the other thing with the game was it was for you to go 6 points clear at the top of the Premier League.
We've gone 6 points clip, but also giving us a win like that in terms of we'd drawn against Sunderland, so you come back off the international break, the dressing room after that, like some of the post-match, Saka doing that goat scream when he walked back in, like this, you probably weren't watching Arsenal social media last night,
definitely
but
wasn't.
The buzz that has given us, not only has it given us that 6 point lead, the 3 points that we needed, it's also like if you could have injected energy into this squad, the Gabriel injury, that could have been like how are we going to cope with that? Okay, we'll score 4 non-set piece goals, like you've given us a gift, like a beautiful wrapped up gift, and I thank you for that.
You could
truly.
And I think they're getting a bit
from the bottom
carried away, maybe, because you are only Tottenham.
Sorry. Well, no, we'll deal with you.
No, exactly. They've got to play us and Bayern, so they're
that's going to be interesting because both of you are very confident heading into that game. So one of you is up for a fall. I mean,
we'll be back here next Monday for his roasting.
Yeah, don't miss it. But I mean, the fact that you are now 6 points clear at the top of the Premier League table is like that's just like another added thing. It's like I've got to look at the Prem now for the next at least week.
Oh yeah,
and see you there and see us in 9th.
Yeah, and obviously off the back of City losing, which we'll talk about as well. Yeah. Like it ramped up the perfect weekend for us. We've done the Thomas Frank talk. I do want to praise Arsenal because I think the way that we came out.
Moving on,
feel free.
No, I'm joking.
The way it's been like normalised that we've put in a performance like that with all 3 of our centre forwards out, with our captain and most creative midfielder out, with arguably the Premier League's best player this season in Gabriel out, all through the spine of the team, and we've just rocked up, and it was like we were full strength. It was like we were in state flow, and this is with a player like Trossard who has been unbelievable. I tell you what, in the last episode,
low key, you would have attacking the season.
You scoffed at me putting Trossard.
Yeah, but if you put Kudus in that Arsenal team, he's not the same kind of player. But he'd have absolutely cooked yesterday.
Hincapie as well. I thought your centre backs conceded 4, so perhaps next time it's just full Arsenal.
You could have wheeled out Will Todd now, and he would have cooked yesterday.
But I just think the way that Arteta's almost like the base level of this squad now, even with those sorts of injuries, like we're nowhere near full speed yet. Gyökeres hasn't fully settled in with an attack around him, with Odegaard behind him. Havertz is due to come back. Like, we're only going to get better from here. So I think it's really exciting. And yesterday's performance was pretty much perfect. Obviously, we conceded the ridiculous goal, which is just almost just makes it funnier. I mean, what a ridiculous goal.
Yeah.
But it means nothing. It literally means nothing.
Do you know what, as well? I saw loads of Spurs fans tweeting after the game. He's the last player I'd ever expect to do something like that.
Literally.
I didn't even think he could kick the ball that far.
No.
Like, genuinely.
Well, people were questioning his passport.
Yeah. And he's scored he's done bicycle kicks and stuff, like Burnley on the opening day. He scored acrobatic goals, but a goal like that, I'm like, it was perfect. It was amazing.
It was.
And it's one of those goals that you'll never remember well.
No,
I remember we did it with Rudiger's stream against Brentford. And it's like I've just buried that.
I mean, Richarlison has scored from near enough the halfway line in a North London derby.
The Emirates, and you're going to mean that
miracle. Yeah, it's mental.
Yeah, but not to bury you even further. That only happens when you're 3-0 down because suddenly, you're actually going to press Zubimendi. Yeah. Richarlison, like in the first half at 0-0. He never gets that opportunity because you never press Zubimendi in the midfield.
And he doesn't take the shot.
And that's the point.
Even after we equalised, we had about 2 minutes maybe where we looked... Sorry. After we scored our consolation goal, we had about 2 minutes where we looked a little bit more energetic. But then after that, we fell off again. We just
literally
again. It was so embarrassing.
Also, the way I think the conceding the third was it third or second just after half time.
Yeah, embarrassing.
I did wonder. What has Thomas Frank said to them?
Yeah, but this is the thing, right? And I agree with you on Arteta. I do think the sign of a good manager, a great manager,
teams keep going.
Is even when you've got players out, a player can slot in and they know exactly what they're doing and they seem so settled in. That is the sign of a great manager. And it's like Thomas Frank before the game. He was asked on Sky before the game and said, do you think set pieces will be the key today? And he was like, yeah, I think, he essentially said whoever wins the set piece battle has a great chance of winning the game.
We were poor on set pieces, actually.
And then you just got and absolutely played us off the park. And it's like Thomas Frank was only really, the setup, only really relying on set pieces. So it's embarrassing.
So, by the way, in your warm-up on the pitch before the game, you were doing set piece drills, by the way, which is wild. And yet you've then gone into the game with a back 5, 2 holding midfielders, and somehow Eze still... on 4 different occasions, has all the time in the world on the edge of the box. He should have 4. He was angry that he didn't get the 4th. Like, it was unbelievable to give a player of that quality from that area of the pitch that much time and space. Like,
Paulinho
beyond criminal.
Just fake hard men, to be honest. They're like, I don't even know where they were. Like, those goals as well. Eze was sort of drifting into the space in the area. Nobody following him.
He is unbelievable, I've got to say.
There's lack of concentration like Jockey on the first goal. I was like, so much up.
Yeah. But it was terrible.
The quality from Eze, he's got this ability to, like, when the ball comes across him, he takes a step that's almost, it's like it's not a step, he almost glides with neither feet on the ground and it opens up space. He basically did it for all 3 goals.
He's got a goal like that where us last season, like he's got a bit of a good big game record.
He's got a great big
He's
game
a brilliant
record.
footballer. But I've been on record saying that multiple times before he joined Arsenal.
From an Arsenal perspective, it it was just perfect. Like, we turned up with energy, we turned up with fight. The tifo, I know, like, it was funny at the start having Sol Campbell across the back of it, and then the performance, and even the way that they wanted to kick on. Like, I've seen the clip this morning from the celebrations for the third goal. Declan Rice runs over about 20 seconds into the clip they're celebrating, and you can hear him. He literally goes, right, let's kill him. Let's fucking kill him. Like, at 3-0, they wanted to kick on and embarrass Spurs. And that's what we did.
And that is the difference in mentality right now between your squad and between our squad. And I don't really know what bridges that gap. Is it a manager? Is it about, I mean, you do have to give, I do think that's the thing, is it's very easy in games like this it was obviously a huge bridge. It's a bloody Golden State Bridge or whatever the biggest bridge in the world is, I don't even know. But it's like, I don't even know what has to change. And in games like this, it's very easy to just like bash Spurs and say Spurs were awful. But you are by far and away the best team that we've played this season. And I mean, we made it so. The scary thing is, you probably didn't even get out of first or second gear. Like, it was insane.
No,
I mean,
we were
Declan Rice was strolling around the pitch.
Yeah.
It was honestly like Declan Rice was the one I kept noticing the most. Where it's like he wasn't even trying.
That was a run.
Even
there's a run. Okay, do you know the amount of times where I've like big praise comes in for Declan Rice because he's had to make unbelievable recovery runs, but he didn't really have to do a lot of that.
But he did get spun by João Paulinho, and that was very funny because nobody gets spun by João Paulinho.
Yeah, that's
and that's what I'm saying.
That's the equaliser. 4-4. Declan Rice got spun by Paulinho. There you go.
Yeah, I mean, apart from that, I mean,
for us now, obviously, we'll talk about the Chelsea preview later. But for you, from here, like, what's the ambition for the season now? Is that like a reality check of like we're not good?
Weirdly, the table should look worse for you.
We're ninth
in terms of watching,
but it's going quickly downhill. Is the problem? Like we were second a couple of weeks ago. Like we were in second, and we had a great away record. But the signs were there. It's like the signs were there, and we were saying it's like a bit like Liverpool actually. Yeah? People were saying, okay, they're winning, but they're not playing well. Does it click and then they start playing well and winning, or does it go the other way and they carry on being terrible and then start losing? And we're obviously going to talk about Liverpool in a minute, but with Spurs, it was like it's just getting worse and oh my God, the ground is going to be so toxic next Saturday against Fulham. It's an 8 p.m. kickoff on a Saturday, which is a terrible kickoff time. I mean, I got the email to buy the tickets this morning, and it's like, you are taking the piss out of me here. Seriously.
Like 90 quid as well.
Yeah, and it's like, turning up in that game, the stadium will be at probably 70 or 80% capacity. It won't be full. People are disgruntled. People are sending their PSG away tickets for tomorrow. It's like, when this all starts to happen, when the dominoes start to fall, if Frank loses or even draws, and to be honest, it's more about the performance. Even if we nick a win, but it's terrible, he's not getting anyone back on side. And it's like, it just feels like a matter of time before we have another one of these where we do nothing in a game, we lose, we draw a game that we shouldn't be drawing. And it's like, this is just getting to a point where it's unacceptable now, because any manager pretty much that could go and get, maybe you look at an Italiano at Bologna who's doing amazingly. Like, if you go and get a manager like that, their floor will instantly be higher than what we're seeing right now, because we'll actually just do so. Like, we could get battered, but if we had 0.2 XG, we'd have done more than we're doing right now.
Yeah.
So it's like the floor will immediately improve, you'd imagine, and it's like he's walking a tightrope. And I think the ambition now, if we keep Frank, would probably be try and get Europe right now, try and compete for Europe. Because I mean, you've got teams like Villa who look strong at the moment, doing well. Obviously, Chelsea, Arsenal, Liverpool, etc. Like Liverpool will,
maybe not them.
But I mean, Liverpool will probably sack Slot, and then they'll be back up there.
Could Slot be Spurs manager?
I'd hate that. Like now, I just think when a manager has had like such a hit on their reputation,
you don't want someone to just be sacked.
You don't want someone coming in who's literally just been like, I mean, humiliated over the past couple of weeks in the Premier League slot as well. And it's like, do you want someone like that coming in? Probably not. I mean, getting a new manager in mid-season anyway is always so difficult, because it's like, okay, they're fighting an uphill battle immediately, and there's no more international breaks to bring a manager in. So
I guess at the end of the day, you've just got to let it all work out.
Well, I hope it all does work out, because at the moment we're sliding down towards the bottom half of the table, and it's just awful. What an awful day.
Another North London derby done. We'll see you again in 6 months. I look forward to it.
I don't.